Good morning students, this is Dr. Kajal here and I'll be talking about legal aspects of business. A quick menu that we are going to go through is what does legal aspects in business means and what are the laws pertaining to it. The laws relating with the industry, the laws relating with the company, we have the key features, we've got arbitration and conciliation, we've got the laws relating with the abroad business and we've got the intellectual property laws. Now beginning with the legal aspects of business, why do we need legal aspects in business? Because any company, any government has already formed some legal constitutions which any firm or any company has to follow. And what happens with these legal aspects is it provides us with a support, with a framework in which the company has to work, for which some laws were introduced and were followed by many business companies for efficient working. The first of all, the law that we are going to see, or the act that we are going to see, is the Indian Contracts Act. The Indian Contracts Act was formulated in 1851 for the only reason that when a company gets into contracts with the different companies, it has to undergo various rules, regulations, arbitrations. So the Indian Contracts Act basically gives you a theme, rules, regulations that a company has to follow, abide, before getting or signing a contract or just providing the terms of the contract, whether the contract should, how it should go legally, and what is the ifs and buts of the contracts. The second, we have got the most important law or the act, that is the Industries Act or the Companies Act, that was devised in 1951. Now what the Companies Act said was that when how the company is to be started, about how the directors and the managers are to be introduced, how are they to be recruited, what is the framework that the company should have. It is the most important act before starting any company, and all the companies in India and abroad have to follow this Companies Act. Now what the Companies Act does is, the first formulations of it is how do you form a company, on what basis, how many directors and managers are to be recruited, how much working staff is to be got inside. The second thing is what is the framework of the company, how does the company, just after it has been set up, how does it go about into the market, what is the value of the company into the market, and even if the company is supposed to get amalgamated with the others, so what are the rules that are supposed to be followed. And the last and the least would be winding up of the company. Even if the company has to be winded up and if it has to be shut down because of some of the other reasons, that we have seen a lot of companies today in the market have been shut down because of a lot of other reasons. So basically the rules and the regulations to be followed comes from the Companies Act. So going to say, we've got a lot of other acts, like you've got the FEMA, we've got the that is an abroad act which shows you the how a company can just go abroad and just wants to expand or start its new branch abroad. Then you've got the Labor Contracts Act, you've got the Union Trade Act, you've got a lot of acts. So the legal aspect of business will go into the the arbitrations, collaborations and everything with the other companies. So a legal aspect of business is very important to be studied from the point of view that when you are into market, you are a business, you are a management student, and tomorrow you will be starting off your business. So what is the rules and regulations that you have to follow? The Companies Act, the Industries Act, the FEMA Act, the Indian Acts, the Indian Contracts Act, there are various others acts that you have to get into and know. Now what we would be studying is basically the Indian Contracts Act and the Companies Act very much in detail, because these are the two major things that you have to know. And as far as your Trade Union Act, your Labor Act are there. They are the most commonly used acts, because if your company is really very big and you've got an infrastructure that's really huge, so you need to plan out, you know, your employees, your laborers, and you've got your trade unions coming in there. So you have to plan accordingly, and just to see as to what can be done into the legal frame structure. Now, what are the advantages of having legal frame structure? The first thing is you play safe, because the thing is, when you are starting a business, you are actually taking up employees to you, and you are actually, you know, you're going to benefit them in many ways by paying them wages, by paying them incentives. So at times there have been a lot of legal cases regarding wages, regarding starting of a company. So this basically, the framework is that it gives you a complete constitution as to how a person can go about framing a company, and how does he go about managing his company till the time he winds up his company. So that is the most important usefulness, or the first most important property that one should know about a legal aspect. The second thing is, since it provides a framework, it is actually beneficial to the government also. So it is a revenue generation if you are if you are completely binded by a legal aspect and you are not doing anything illegally. So, and the third thing is, if you are doing anything out of the legal aspect and anything out of the framework that our Indian Constitution has given, it will definitely be a bad boon to your company and to the company's growth. So even if you are just starting off, you are merging off, but if you have got that illegal tag on your company, it will not be successful henceforward. There are some more positive points, like, you know, if you are actually going in through the business government policies and just knowing things, it's good for you to recruit managers at that levels, and those experienced people who can actually prove a beneficial terms to your company. The second thing is, we have seen in the market and the industry that every company has got its legal advisor. Why is the legal advisor there? Because it is ethical in the first sense, and the second thing is that any business always abides by the legal aspects in the business. So a legal advisor is always there to help them out, to guide them out if there are some pending cases or there are some issues regarding to the legal things. So a lot of issues and a lot of stuff is being dealt into this topic of legal aspects of business. The most important, as we have said and talked, is the Companies Act and the Industries Act, and the most important being the Contract Act. Now what happens is, when you are starting a company, you have got some basic infrastructure on which you want to, you know, you want to expand your business and go ahead and go abroad, and basically it is FEMA, what I had said, FEMA, that's Foreign Exchange Management Association, and the rules regarding it, and it is basically an act. It's Foreign Exchange Management Act that goes to say that, you know, when your company, if you have had a good contracts and you have really widened up your company and it is really helpful to you, so what happens is next that you want to actually broaden your scope. And when you broaden your scope, you always think of expanding abroad. Now that is the time where our government has also given us FEMA. So that is your foreign exchange. The foreign exchange is indirectly associating us with the government, the money that is going to come down to our government, which is going to help us in reduction of taxes, or your helpful to the poor people, or the fundings and everything. So what happens is, this FEMA was introduced, and since that time lots of Indian companies started expanding abroad and they really got in business. But when they started doing this, there were some legal issues that had cropped up, like, you know, whether the company is actually Indian based and should go abroad and expand its thing, or it is how much worthwhile is the company that it can go abroad and expand the things. So a legal framework and a legal structure was being framed, which actually undertook all the assignments and all the things, that how foreign exchange can be also enhanced, as well as keeping into legal aspects into the mind. Yeah, the Indian companies can go abroad and prove themselves. So these are the major basic acts that we are going to study into the legal aspects. Then we have got some key features. We have got arbitrations and conciliations. We have got industry specific acts. We have got abroad specific acts, and we have got a wide scope of these legal aspects, which we would be studying in the further future lectures. Thanks a lot for attending my lecture, and I hope that it really proves really beneficial to you. Thank you.
It's completed.